Hello everybody, welcome to another video on the Swift programming language. In this video, we're going to talk about the dictionary type, and a dictionary basically allows you to store data in pairs containing a key and a value. Just like a dictionary, in a spoken or written language, each word has a definition. Comparing the two, in a Swift dictionary, the key equals the word, and the value equals the definition. So we're going to be able to store values based on a key. Very cool. So let's get started with a playground. Once more, we've done this like 6 times already, so we should be really good at it. And go ahead and create a blank playground and call it Dictionaries. Alrighty. And let's get rid of that little default string there, and let's pull this over, make this a bit wider so we have a bit more space. And in order to declare a dictionary, what we can do it 2 ways. We can go ahead and type var how about device? Let's just do devices. Now what we can do is we can go ahead and explicitly declare this dictionary, and then we can use these brackets here. What we're going to do is we're going to set it up so that the key for a particular item is a string, and we're going to go ahead and set it so that the value is an int, well, maybe a double. That might be better. And so now we can go ahead and we can create a dictionary, and it is in straight brackets just like an array. But there's a key difference. There is a pair of 2 values, one is a string and one is a double, and they'll be separated by a comma. So let's say that I wanted to use this dictionary to store the screen sizes for particular iPhones. So I could go ahead and use a string as my key, and I could say iPhone 7. And then to do the value, I put a colon, and then I can say 4.7. That's how many inches. Well, you know what? Let's change this to be more specific. Let's do screen sizes in inches. And that's something about variables you should know, is that the name of the variable should be very descriptive. It shouldn't leave anything in question. Also, you may have noticed that when I'm typing variables, I allow the first word to be lowercase, but then any subsequent words have been capitalized. That's called camel casing, and that's a very common practice in the programming world. So here we go. We have our dictionary here, and we have added our first key value pair. We have a string, and it is associated with this double value. So if I continue, we can do another one. Let's do iPhone 7 Plus. Alrighty. We need a colon at the end, and the screen size is 5.5 inches. That's very cool. And let's do one more. We can do iPad Pro. Okay, put a colon, and the iPad Pro has a 12.9-inch screen. And we've now successfully stored some data in a dictionary. So the iPhone 7 Plus, that's the key for the 5.5-inch screen. iPhone 7 is the 4.7-inch screen, and the iPad Pro is the 12.9-inch screen. Now, something that you need to know that differentiates a dictionary from an array is that it is not ordered numerically. As you can see, it printed out with iPhone 7 Plus first. The order of items in a dictionary does not matter, but instead we can access items by essentially looking up their key. Now, in order to actually get a value for a particular key, I can go ahead and call my dictionary, and using these brackets, I can pass in the name of one of the keys, and I can see if there's a value. So I can type in iPhone 8. How about that? And if I build this, you'll see it returns nil. We'll talk about nil in just a little bit in the optionals video, but nil basically means it is an empty value. There's nothing there. And in an application, this would cause a crash. There are ways around this, but we will talk about those in another video. But let's go ahead and type in one that we know for sure is there, iPhone 7. If I run this, you'll see it returns the value for that key. That's pretty cool, right? Now, let's say that I wanted to modify my dictionary. Let's say that I wanted to change the value or add a new value in. I can go ahead and call screen size in inches, and I can go ahead and pull out the iPhone 7 Plus. And you know what? Let's put a mistake in here. Let's change this to maybe 5.2. What I could do is I could say screen size in inches, call that particular key, and then I can set the value to be 5.5. If we run this, check it out. We get 5.5, but up here, it's still showing 5.2. If I print out screen size in inches after I've changed the value for that key, you'll see that it's back to its repaired state. So that's how you can modify values, but what about adding new values? Let's do that. All I need to do is to type screen size in inches, and then what I can do is I can pass in a new property and set the value at the end. So I can type iPad Air 2, and I can set a value for the screen size, which that device had a 9.7-inch screen size. If I run this, you'll see that I now have, let's make this a bit bigger. How about full screen? There we go. And you can see that all of these devices show up now. However, this is inferring a double, which apparently is having trouble with 9.7. I'm not sure if this is a beta issue or just typical with 9.7, but this appears to be an issue with Xcode beta. Regardless, I have added a new key value pair to my dictionary. I have modified values, and I have queued the actual value for a particular device. That's pretty cool. So there are a few other things I can do with my dictionary. If I call screen size in inches and call dot, there are some functions that I can call. Okay, I could go ahead and I can merge values. I can do something called pop first, which pop first can also be called on an array. But what it does essentially is it removes the first item that is in the array. It pops it off and then returns it, which is pretty cool. But we're not going to actually do that. So what I can do is I can use all kinds of functions that I can do with dictionaries. One that I'm interested in particular, well, you could do remove all and it would delete everything, but I'm going to go ahead and do remove value for key. And I'm going to pass in a key here, iPhone 7, and if I run this again, you'll see that this array below has no iPhone 7 because we removed it and returned the value. Okay, pretty cool. That is how it works. So this is essentially how dictionaries work. They're great for organizing data that maybe have two pieces of data that are important, like a name and a description, or a description and a screen size. It's a really good way to store data like that, and that is basically how dictionaries work in a nutshell. Let's head on over to the next video and let's learn about something new in Swift 4.